getting ready for our next keynote speaker. Let me tell you about my boy. Ernesto is the man with the master plan. He's wearing the Fresno State shirt right now. He's a Michigan Wolverine fan all the way. He's my brother. He's out here in South Florida now. He represents his company, Cool Speaks. I'm telling you, this man is fire. This man is amazing. And when I tell you he has a story when it comes to being a first-generation student and an immigrant, I'm telling you, this man is going to make you laugh. He's going to make you cry. But most importantly, he is real, he is authentic, and he's going to change your life. So without further ado, DJ Wall is about to play some music to introduce my man, my brother, my friend. Let's go. Give it up for Ernesto.
See all my Latinas singing it like word for word. Latinos. Y'all know who we're talking about. That's my boy Benito, aka El Conejo Malo, also known as Bad Bunny. And just as a highlight to the importance of diversity and the power that we all have in this world, that was the #1 streamed artist in the entire world last year. A Puerto Rican, un Boricua, from Puerto Rico, de la Isla del Encanto, was the #1 streamed artist in the world, decided to maybe, do his own type of concert on top of a semi-truck in New York City. And I don't know why, but he'll be in WrestleMania tomorrow too. So the brother's doing whatever he wants because that's what makes him happy. For those of you that didn't catch it, my name is Ernesto Mejia Macias. If you can't roll your R's like I can, you can call me what my kindergarten through 6th grade teachers called me, Ernesto Mejia Macias. Same dude, it's the same cat. I'm gonna be here with y'all for a little bit. I appreciate y'all. I respect you, and thank you for the opportunity, Josh. I appreciate you giving me a space to share not just my story, but what we do, but more importantly, the burden that first gen has. Some of y'all's shoulders are hurting a little bit. Some of y'all's backs are like, man. Some of y'all get that call from mommy, papi, mom, and dad, like, we put all our eggs in one basket, you the basket. And you're like, we got any other baskets? Like, we got a backup? Like, it's a lot of pressure. Like, you're making me worried here. You're making me concerned. But it's a good pressure sometimes. And I want you to have that pressure. But I want you to know how to handle it. Just like I need you to know how to handle the stress. Just how I need you to understand that, look, we've said this to ourselves. And somebody in here has said it. I can guarantee you. I wish I was wrong. But we've said, well, my parents couldn't help me. They didn't know how. They didn't have an education. They didn't go to college. I'm here to tell you to stop lying to yourself. Your parents maybe didn't know the financial aid process. I have 3 college degrees and I'm still trying to figure out the financial aid process. Your parents maybe didn't know how to apply for college or which school was the best choice. I'll give you that much. Who taught you the work ethic? Who taught you the importance of education ever since you were a little baby? Who asked you every day in English or Spanish, ¿Cómo te fue en la escuela? How was school today? Every day. And you always had the same answer, which amazes me even to date. Good, bien, always the same answer every time. Because you know that that's the way to end that conversation. But those individuals are the one that instilled in you a passion, a drive, a work ethic. They may have even instilled something that's going to take you even farther in life, which is humility, the ability to help others, to worry about others, to support somebody else, to carry somebody across the finish line, even if they walk into that finish line before you. It's the type of people that we come from. And I appreciate each and every one of you on here. And let me tell you why. I understand Michigan because I went to Eastern Michigan University. My boys live out in the Grand Rapids area, and I worked for the University of Michigan for 8 years. I was a big fan of Michigan, and I never applied because it required something called grades. And, that didn't work out real well for me. So I just went to Eastern Michigan because they're like, you can come on in, buddy. So it worked out for me. But let me keep it real for you. Sometimes we get onto a campus, and not just for a year or two, and not even after we graduate. Sometimes we get into a master's program, a PhD program, and we're still looking around. Looking for somebody that looks like us, that sounds like us, but on top of it, even asking ourselves, like, do I really deserve this? Like, should I really be here right now? Let me tell you something. Yes, you deserve that seat and an extra one because you had to work extra hard for that seat. Not only do you deserve that seat, if it were up to me, you'd get 2 VIP seats guaranteed for mommy and papi because they deserve that seat too. But when you don't get it in school, you set up that chair, that seat for graduation. Because if you want to see anybody get loud, it's going to be our families come graduation. As soon as they say there will be no applause, no yelling, no screaming, and you're like, oh, okay, you try telling that to my mama, my papa. You try letting them know that the one that made it through that finish line, across that finish line first, to stay reserved and be quiet. You already know what it's going to be like. Esa es mi hija, esa es mi hijo. That's my boy. That's my girl. That's right. And they're even going to stand up. And meanwhile, you're going to be embarrassed, but at the same time, you're going to be like, yeah, that's my mom's. That's my mom's coming through. I hear her. And you should feel that pride. And I want you to feel that pride, so I want to do something with you really quick. I know for some of you, it might be early if you're on the West Coast, and I'm going to do this super quick, faster than I typically do. I need you to close your eyes. If you start snoring, drooling, or falling to a side, that's not the activity we're looking for right now. But I need you to close your eyes just for like 30 seconds. Everybody close your eyes, please. If you're still looking at me, that's why you're struggling in school, because you can't follow instruction. Close your eyes and just listen to what I'm saying to you. I want you to focus on one thing and one thing only. The color red. You can picture a marker, you can picture a crayon, you can picture anything you want, but solely focus on the color red. I want you to see the color, maybe even feel it. In some cases, depending on what it is, smell it. Focus only on the color red. Keep your eyes closed. In a few seconds, I'm going to ask you to open up your eyes and just kind of scan your screen to see if anything stands out for you. On the count of 3, open up your eyes. Continue focusing on the color red. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Scan your screen. Did anything stand out? Did you see something quicker? Were your eyes like, ooh, that one kind of hit me a little bit harder? If so, raise your hand, virtually or physically. If red stood out for you a little bit more, raise your hand. I see a few hands go up. That was when I asked you to focus on a color for like 30 seconds. Imagine if every day you wake up and you focus on graduation day. That day that you're fighting so hard for, you're stressing so much for, you're wondering how you're going to pay to get to that day. In some cases, I know y'all, you're already wondering, I wonder what kind of shoes I'm going to wear that day. I wonder what kind of outfit I'm going to buy for that day. I know you. You're already thinking about these things. I allowed you to see the color red a little differently because I asked you to focus on it for 30 seconds. Imagine if you start picturing graduation every day. Imagine if you start picturing your family in that audience screaming for you. Imagine who you run to first as soon as you walk off that stage or as soon as graduation is over when they hold you. What are they going to say? What are they going to feel? Who's going to cry more? Who's going to laugh more? Who's going to be like, whatever, I could have done it. Somebody, you know, well, got one of those in our family too. But that's a sense of pride, of emotion. And I need you to have that on a regular, and I need you to represent us at all times. See, my name is Ernesto Mejia Macias, and I am the proud product of Mexican immigrant parents. But here's the more important part that I need you to know, and I say it proudly. I'm the product of a janitor and a factory worker. My mom and dad both picked apples, strawberries, learned English as a second language, came from a country to another country where they knew nothing at all, let alone anybody at all. Zacatecas is north central Mexico, so to speak. How and why they ended up all the way in Michigan, don't even ask me because I have no clue. We used to live 45 minutes from Canada. I'm like, y'all might as well have just gone to Canada, like just gone that extra mile and be like, yeah, we're in a different country now. But that's where they ended up. To this date, I owe everything that I have in life to my parents and then my effort. Why do you say I say it that way? Because they're the ones that taught me the work ethic. They're the ones that taught me the importance of an education. And my mom provided the intrinsic motivator that I didn't know existed inside of me after I got kicked out of college. Because yeah, I got kicked out of college. And to have some fun with you, I'm going to ask for 3 volunteers, whomever it might be. Let me tell you what first, because as soon as I ask for volunteers, people are like me and be like, all right, everybody get naked and run outside. Let me tell you what we're doing first, okay? So the 3 volunteers, I need you to tell me whatever comes to mind in terms of the first impression that I made on you. There is no right answer. I'm looking for your answer, your reality. So either unmute, raise your hand virtually or physically. I can only see so many screens here. And I need 3 of you to tell me the first impression that I made on you. There is no right answer. I'm just looking for your input. Ernesto. Ernesto says Ernesto wants to speak. That's a little awkward, but okay. Ernesto, go ahead, unmute for me. And then Ines goes next. Ernesto.
All right. I had a feeling that you yourself are a very confident person because you are someone like me, because I hardly ever see that in these types of settings.
Okay. I appreciate you, Ernesto. Virtual applause for Ernesto. Virtual applause. Virtual applause. That's what's up. Thank you. In Spanish, we call that a tocayo because we have the same name. So Ernesto, you had a cool name. I'm just saying. Ines, go ahead.
Hi. So basically, when I first saw you on the screen, I'm like, this seems like the kind of man, like if he was my age, he would probably be the one I go to like Latino parties with, like my sister's quinceañera. You seem like that kind of person who I'd be dancing with. I'd be like, let's go have some fun. And also you kind of remind me of my dad. Like he has like a lot of charm. He's also like a very big, strong Latino man. And he's able to charm anybody in his sights. And I could just like tell by just like looking at you that you are just like very confident in who you are. And that's completely awesome.
Thank you very much. Virtual applause for Ines, everybody. Virtual applause. Anybody else? I don't know if Jessica has her hand up or she just kind of had it up from earlier. Oh, wait. Patricia Villa. Patricia, please.
Yeah, so I'm on the go, but just to let you know, after hearing you speak, you are strong, but you're vulnerable. And I love that because that is something that I've learned, like to be vulnerable and to actually ask someone for assistance. And that was the hardest thing to do when your parents have brought you up a certain way.
That's what's up. Thank you, Patricia. Virtual applause for Patricia, please, everybody. Virtual applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, here are the things that we didn't get out of it. I grew up in an area where I literally saw the KKK beat up my father. I went to 6th grade twice, once in the US, once in Mexico. My father was murdered when I was 13 years old in Mexico. When I was 16, I contracted a disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome that left me temporarily, so to speak, paralyzed. I'm able to walk, dress myself, feed myself. I couldn't close a button up. I couldn't walk. My ankles would twist and I would fall. I went to college because my brother told me to. Hence the reason I went to the college he graduated from. An average is taking us anywhere between 5.5, 6.5 years to get a bachelor's degree. Because I thought of myself below average, I definitely behaved below average, put out below average, and it took me a decade just to get my bachelor's degree. I did the whole, this is my boo, and I'm gonna marry you, and we're gonna be happily ever after. It didn't work out. I was a single dad for about 10 years to my 2 kids. Now, the only reason I bring that up is for this. I'm done with that whole picture of, how Latino males are, right? About, being dads. Because I'll be the first to say, I do. I had joint custody of my kids. I cooked, ironed, cleaned, sewed, washed, made cold lunches, drove them to their activities, and made sure that Papi was there whenever I could be there. If that's what you were referring to, absolutely, I know what you mean. But if you were referring to something else, please tell me why I fit that suit. Then all of a sudden the conversation got awkward, like, okay, well, maybe you're a little bit different. You know what? We have a little bit of everything in life. It's just the truth. We have good, we have bad, we have winners, we have losers. We have a little bit of everything. Now, why do I tell you all this? Because Ernesto sees the confidence now. Patricia sees the humility now, the sense of vulnerability now. But in college, I was that tough dude, like, yeah, I know I need tutoring, but I don't need to go. Like, I'm the man. I got this under control. I'll just figure it out. And then that's when I got kicked out. You know what? You should go talk to somebody because, all students feel homesickness. I don't. I moved out of my house since I was 16. I see my mom like once a year for 2 weeks. What's the big deal? I'm cool. Then I started to see a counselor after I graduated. Oh. This is what they meant. This is how they help. For those of you that haven't sought out counseling yet, I recommend it to each and every one of you. And for those of you that are thinking quietly in your head right now, but nothing's wrong with me, who told you that that's the only reason you go to counseling? One. And two, it makes you stronger, more confident, more capable, and to better know how to deal with life. I am a Latino male, Latinx, Hispanic, whichever you prefer, that goes to counseling. And this isn't a PSA. I'm just telling you my reality. I'm telling you how it's helped me, how it's made me a better husband now, a better father now, a better son now, a better worker, entrepreneur, individual, and it just makes me a better person. And I'm telling you because sometimes we need that. And if you ask me, more than ever in our lifetimes, everybody that's on here, now is the time that we need that. This year of virtual, of illness, of death, of concern, of being scared, I'm gonna let you in on a little something, more than you need to know. Those of us that have contracted Guillain-Barré syndrome are not allowed to get the flu vaccine. What do you think when I came to mind? And the reason we can't is because it might trigger your Guillain-Barré all over again. What do you think comes to mind to me when I hear, well, are you gonna get the COVID vaccine? I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's gonna put me back where I was. I don't know if it's gonna leave me in a wheelchair, unable to move, unable to dress myself. How am I gonna take care of my family? How am I gonna provide? Should I or shouldn't I? It freaks me out. And even those of you that don't have the concern, it freaks you out. And even those that make up stuff, oh, you know what they're gonna do with the vaccine? They're gonna be able to trace you now, right? Whatever, you know, there's some theories out there and y'all know they're out there. But I'm telling you this because I need you to believe in yourself, do your research, and make decisions for you. I, Ernesto Mejia Macias, do not represent all Latino males. I represent my clan, which is the Mejias, mi familia, my family. Can I give you my opinion about somebody else? Absolutely. And I'm telling you all this too because I am proud of my heritage. And my parents, look, the research tells us there's one generation that always pays the price. That generation was my parents. I don't expect anyone else to pay the price. Dr. Vincent Tinto says this, and it's my favorite quote: no one rises to low expectations. My kids graduating high school, it was like graduating kindergarten. Like, yeah, we're supposed to. Pop said that this is just part of the part. We're not even halfway through the journey. I get a bachelor's, probably a master's, and he said I probably should get a PhD. Right. That's my expectation. But I'm going to twist it for you a little bit as first gens. My son comes back and says, Papi, I think a bachelor's fine, but I want to start this business, and could you help me? Show me your business plan. Are you willing to work on this and not get paid for a couple months? Because that's what entrepreneurship is sometimes. And if you are, I'll help you. There's a word in Spanish that doesn't translate well to English. I have a bias as to why that might be, but I don't know. That word is ganas. Ganas means like effort, energy, like I'm gonna put it all, I'm gonna show you sacrifice. I'm gonna really try. But that's what I need from everybody. Look, right now, one of the biggest challenges in the workforce isn't getting a college graduate. It's getting somebody that has ganas, meaning you have some sort of initiative, some sort of drive. Your critical thinking skills are on point. Your communication skills are on point. And you don't need to be told what to do every 15 minutes. Employers tell us this all the time. Ernesto, what's the deal? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I only got the two that I'm in charge of, and I'm worried about them. But it's tough. But I'm telling you this so that you can be better prepared. In the chat, I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor. Everybody that is in this room, I need you to answer me this question. Why is it that you want a degree, an education? Besides getting the degree, why is it that you want an education or a degree? I'm curious because that can influence the way we act, what we say, how we say it, what we do, when we do it. To make my parents proud, to help my family and community, verification, to provide a better life for my 3 kids, for a better job, to help my parents financially, personal goal, better life, mi familia, and I appreciate y'all for that. Those are just some of them that I heard. Better life, to be able to make my parents proud. Look, you come up with your own reasons, okay? After I got kicked out of college, my mom needed my help. My mom lived in Mexico still. I couldn't get her the help. I didn't have the money. The first thing that came to mind was, my dad would have never done this. My dad would have never let his family down in a time of need. So I started to do things differently. And it's something that I'm going to ask you to do from this point forward. It's just try harder. And if you're wondering why, let me show you. By a show of hands, last semester, last quarter, last term, whatever, if you know you could have done a little bit better, please raise your hand physically. That's why I'm asking us to try a little bit harder. The next time you drive by that field where those workers are out there and you think that they're all dumb and they don't have an education, let me tell you, some of those people that are bent over backwards there have college degrees from their countries. But they came here for a better life. They came here to escape criminals, thieves, violence, cartels, just to name a few. And the next time you drive by one of those fields and you dare tell anybody that's with you, you better study, if not, you're going to end up like them. I'm going to ask you to say something different from this point forward. The next time you're driving by those fields and you see those people picking those tomatoes, those apples, those strawberries, whatever it is, you tell the person you're with, I hope you can get up as early as they do, be half as dedicated as they are, work half as hard as they do, care so much about taking care of your family that you show up even when you're hurt. That you show up even though you were robbed in the last job because they figured they don't have to pay you. They can get away with it. And you still showed up. I hope you have that kind of drive, that kind of work ethic, that kind of desire to take your family out of the hood, put them where you want them to be, take care of them. I hope you have that. You see, when I got kicked out of college, I didn't have any of those things. And while we love to point the fingers, I do too. The person that was to blame is right here. Me. It wasn't my counselors. It wasn't the lack of representation. It wasn't, me feeling like I wasn't the best student. It was just me. Just me. So when my mom needed me, I did something different. I tried a little bit harder. Got back into school. My last 2 semesters, I took 15 credit hours a semester, and I averaged a 3.8 GPA. I got kicked out of school because I couldn't get a 2.0. But when you have that intrinsic motivator of, I'm not going to let mommy down. Mi mamá no va a sufrir. My mom's not going to suffer. Then all of a sudden school was like, what else you got for me? My mom used to get up at 6 in the morning to make breakfast, go to work, to come back and make lunch, to go to her other job, to come back and then go to her third job, and at times come back and go learn English as a second language. And I can't open up a book. I can't show up to class 5 minutes early. I can't turn a camera on because I'm uncomfortable. I can't speak up even though I know the language. My mom and dad would try to speak up and they don't know the language. But they would try. And that work ethic was instilled in me. And it makes a difference. And I'm telling you, it does. That drive, that reason, that purpose. There's studies done in life longevity, and Okinawa, Japan has one of the longest life expectancies in the world. Diet is one of the main reasons. However, they all think and confirm themselves as individuals that it's purpose that extends their lifetime. They don't necessarily believe in retirement, and they don't believe in a goal as your purpose. Like, my purpose is to help my family succeed. Okay, so if I win the lotto and I leave everybody set, I guess I'm done and I can be gone from this world? No. Their purpose is something that they cannot accomplish in their lifetime, but it keeps them going. Their purpose is related to their work, hence why they continue to work for a lifetime. Am I saying don't ever retire? No, it's up to you, your choice, and what you get used to. I know that if I want to stay young, feel young, be active, be able to stand up on my own, walk on my own, I got to keep going. I got to keep moving. I got to keep grinding. And that's what I want you to do. And I want to prove something to you really quick. Sometimes the bar isn't raised high enough, but before I prove that to you, let me showcase to you the reason I am and what I do. I am my parents' American dream. This is Fortunato Mejia and Maria Rosa Macias. That's my dad and my mom. And because of them, I get to live comfortably. Because of them, I don't have to be disrespected because of the way I look. Because of them, si hablo en español, no me pueden hacer nada. If I speak in Spanish, you can't do anything to me. But for them, if they did, like, oh, there they are again, those people. I'll say something extremely nice to you on purpose because I'm a jerk like that. Gracias, usted está muy bonita. With an ugly face, or like, what'd you say? I said, thank you, you're very pretty. No, you didn't, I saw your face. That's what happens when you don't know what you're talking about. That's what happens when, you know what the saying says, if you know one language, you're called American. If you know two languages, you're called bilingual. It's true. Keep these things in mind. Now, I want to prove a point to you super fast. I'm going to give myself 7 minutes because I'm working with college people here. I'm working with smart individuals here. 7 minutes to teach you all 15 random words that make no sense to you whatsoever, are completely awkward, don't make, you're going to hear him be like, what is he talking about? These are the 15 words. Put your pencil down, put your cell phone down, put your notes down because you're like, I got all 15, go ahead, tell me when to start. No, you're just going to use this right here. That's all you're going to use. You are going to memorize monkey, iron, rope, kite, house, shoe, worm, envelope, pencil, river, rocks, trees, cheese, quarters, and cool speak. Now, some of your faces already gave up. That's what we do sometimes. Some of your faces made the face that you make in class when the professor says, we have a 10-page paper due. I can't do that. Like, oh, really? Like 10 page? Like, immediately, you start telling yourself what you can't do. As opposed to, all right, 11, if you need me to, player, like, I just need that grade, so tell me. I need you to change that mentality and that focus. 15 random words that make 0 sense to you. If you do something that I asked you to do earlier, try, I guarantee you're going to leave with at least 10 of them. Memorized and know them. Ernesto, can you unmute yourself for me?
Yep.
Can you take me up on this challenge? You think you can get all 15 words if I teach them to you?
I'll do my best.
That's all I'm asking you to do, brother. All right, Ernesto, here we go. You and everybody else. I need you to picture your living room at home. Picture your living room. I don't know what it looks like. There's a TV, there's a couch. If you're like me and you're Hispanic, there's some sort of veladora, there's a Jesucristo, there's something going on in there. Picture your living room at home. Anything that you see. Now, in your living room, there's a monkey. You heard me right, a monkey. Donkey Kong, King Kong, Curious George. I don't know what monkey, but you picture it. There's a monkey in your living room. This monkey is getting your clothes ready for school. I know, just go with me, okay? See it. So the monkey is using an iron. What color is the iron? Is it hot? Is it cold? Does it have water? Is it steaming? Guys, an iron is what takes wrinkles out of clothes. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here, okay? So the monkey is using the iron. But the weird thing about this iron is that it's tied to a rope. Picture the rope. What color is it? How wide is it? What's it feel like? What's it look like? So this monkey is using an iron and it's tied to a rope. And the weird thing about the rope is that it's long and it's going out the window of your house. So picture the rope going out the window of your house. Because at the end of the rope, there's a kite. Picture the kite. What color is it? What shape is it? Does it have ribbons? Does it have letters? Even what does it sound like? Flying around, see it floating around in the air, see it. Picture the kite. So the kite's flying around, but I used to live in the Chi, the Windy City. So it's so windy outside that it smashes against your house. So picture that kite flying. Yeah, Demetrius. Picture that kite flying and the kite hits your house. After the kite hits your house, it falls to the ground and it falls next to a stinky shoe. Picture the shoe. Is it a tennis shoe, a shoe, Velcro, laces, old, new, leather, J's? I don't know what kind of shoe. Picture it. See that shoe. Okay? Now coming out of the shoe, Ernesto, is a worm. Big worm. Picture the worm coming out of the shoe. How big is it? What color is it? What's it look like? What's it feel like? I can see some of y'all see the worm because you're like this. So you're seeing it. Very good. That's what I need you to do, to be able to see that worm. All right, Ernesto, unmute for me. Pop quiz. Don't worry. Don't write, okay?
Right.
Focus on me. Look into my eyes. Okay, now, what's in your living room?
A TV and a couch, and next to it is a monkey.
And what's the monkey using?
Monkey is using an iron because he has to get our clothes ready for school.
That's right. And the iron's tied to a what?
It's tied to a rope.
Right. And the weird thing is, at the end of the rope, there's a what?
There is a kite.
Yeah, but it's so windy outside that the kite hits.
It hits next to a stinky shoe.
It hits your house. Remember, it hits your house. And then it falls down next to a stinky shoe. What's coming out of the shoe?
A worm.
A worm. Go figure. All right. Some of you are sitting there right now like, man, I really am smart. It's just my professor's fault. You're right. You're right. So, again, everybody, what's coming out of your shoe? A worm. Let me give you the rest of the words. Ernesto, let's do this. The worm is coming out of the shoe, but then it moves into an envelope. Picture the envelope. How wide is it? What color is it? How tall is it? Picture the envelope and see the worm moving in. Here's where things get super wacky, y'all. Just roll with me and see it. Then a magical pencil appears. How big is the pencil? Is it an old pencil, number 2 pencil, 3, 4, 5? I don't know how many number pencils there are. Mechanical, eraser, no eraser, long. Picture the pencil. That pencil is writing on the envelope your name and I heart. So for me, that pencil would be like Ernesto Mejia, I heart tacos. Like whatever you heart. I don't know whatever you heart, but that's what you heart, all right? So the pencil is writing on the envelope, but it's writing so fast that it falls, and it falls into a river. Picture the river. How wide is it? What color is it? What's it sound like? What's it look like? What's it smell like? You can see that pencil falling into the river. You can hear the river and see it, and even smell it. That river stream then splashes against a pile of rocks. How tall are these rocks? How wide are they? What color are they? What texture are they? How do they feel? How do they look? See and feel those rocks, all right? That river stream splashes into the rocks. Some of that water then splashes into a tree. Picture the tree. How tall is it? How wide is it? Does it have leaves, needles? Is it bare? Is it naked? What's it look like? What's it smell like? What's it feel like? How tall is it? See that tree. Now here's where things are going to get super awkward. Pretend my hands here are the tree's branches. Growing out of the tree's branches is cheese. You heard me right. Cheese. Very awkward, but see it. Picture cheese growing out of the tree's branches. You get to pick the cheese you want. String cheese, Kobe cheese, cheddar cheese, Munster cheese. If you like me, Chihuahua, Oaxaca, Menonita, I don't know, whatever kind of cheese, but it's growing out of the tree, okay? So here's where things get even crazier. Sliding out of the cheese, hear it. Sliding out of the cheese are quarters. Picture quarters sliding right out of the cheese. Really awkward, I know. All of those quarters are falling onto cool speak. Cool and speak. All of the quarters are falling onto cool speak. All right? So, Ernesto, unmute. I'm going to give you a quiz. And this is what happens a lot of times as soon as we say quiz to our students. Sometimes we say, we're going to give you a quiz. Like you start freaking out, like you yourself. And you know who you are. You go into the exam and you sit down and you're like, oh my gosh, why do I got to go pee all of a sudden? That's your nerves. That's you doing that to yourself, to your body, you freaking out. And then you go and you come back like, oh my gosh, I got to go again. Like, what's the matter with me? It's your nerves messing with you. Just chill, take a deep breath. And like Happy Gilmore said, think of a happy place. And have happy thoughts, okay? Ernesto, pop quiz and then your final exam. In your living room, there's a what?
In the living room, there was a TV and a couch.
Okay. Keep going. What animal's in there?
A monkey trying to get our clothes ready for school.
Using
an iron.
And that iron's tied to?
A rope.
What's at the end of the rope?
A kite.
And the kite hits?
It hits the house.
And then it falls next to?
It falls next to the stinky shoe.
What's coming out of the shoe?
A worm.
And that moves into an
envelope.
And then the magical
pencil
falls into the
river.
And then that hits a pile of
rocks.
And then that splashes into a
tree.
And then what's growing out of the tree?
Cheese.
What's coming out of the cheese?
Quarters.
All the quarters are falling onto?
Cool speak.
Cool speak. Ernesto, that's a good warm-up. Now comes the final exam. This is where we really got to go to the bathroom bad. our palms get sweaty, we start feeling these butterflies in our stomach, and in some cases, some of y'all let the butterflies out your stomach before the exam. Ain't nobody want to hear that, but it happens, okay? So, Ernesto, now I want you to tell me the words in the order that we learn them, one by one. Every time I put my hand down, you'll say the next word. So for example, monkey, iron, rope, and so on and so forth. You got me?
Got it.
All right, Ernesto, deep breath through your nose. Let it out your mouth, because if not, it's gonna get awkward here. Your mic's on, okay, very good. All right, here we go, Ernesto. In your living room, there's a
TV.
Okay,
and
keep
a
going.
couch.
Keep going.
Monkey.
Yep.
Using an iron.
Yep.
A rope.
Yep.
Kite.
Yep.
House.
Yep.
Shoe.
Yep.
A wort.
Yep.
Envelope.
Yep.
A pencil.
Yep.
Falls into the river.
Yep.
Hits rocks.
Yep.
Tree.
Yep.
Cheese.
Yep.
Quarters.
Yep.
Cool speak.
Ernesto, don't you dare let anybody at any point in your life tell you that you're not worthy, that you're not smart enough, that you don't belong. That was like 9 minutes, and you learned 15 random words like that. And that goes for everybody else in here, because when I asked you think you can get them, you're like, you might be good, but not that good, bro. That's 15 words. That's a lot. And all I got was monkey. But right now, you had a bunch of coaches. I saw everybody with their mics off. Like they were happy to coach you and tell you the words and keep you going. Let this be a lesson for everybody. No one rises to low expectations. You're beyond capable. I'm a college dropout that ended up being a college dean for 5 years in Chicago. I left being a college dean to start my own business and pursue my own dreams. Something that we all love to talk about, but it takes a lot of courage and guts to say, you know what? I'll live under a tree if I need to, but I'm gonna make this happen. And I did make it happen. And I have pushed myself. And I've pushed myself a lot, and I'm raising the bar for myself. We get to have partnerships with corporations like McDonald's, US Bank, AT&T, and we get to tell them how to invest, engage, and invest and support our youth, and especially our youth that look like us. 2 years ago, I had a pretty cool event happen. I had a little event in Hialeah, Miami, where we consulted. And for those of you that don't know, my man Benito, he's also known as Bad Bunny. That's the dog right there. It's my boy. The reason I like him is because he does what he wants. He speaks his mind. He's wrestling because he likes wrestling, y'all. How many artists will do that? The reason I'm sharing it with you is because of this. It's not because, ooh, I work with Bad Bunny, I'm a big thing. I'm not. It's because, ooh, that woman that used to clean my elementary school raised a man that got to do whatever he wanted to. That dude that used to work at Ford Motor Company for years in Michigan at the Rawsonville plant instilled in this guy the work ethic to follow his dreams and do what he wants, to not take no for an answer, to challenge the status quo, and to do what makes him feel happy. Y'all, I get paid to talk to you. I get paid to give companies ideas. I get paid to share my knowledge. But more importantly, and I don't do this often, just because I'm kind of a private guy, this is the battery that really keeps everything ticking. That's my son, Jorge, my daughter, Sofia, my wife, Sulaika, our baby girl, Xiomara, and that model dude is a sub for me to be in the family picture so it looked somewhat presentable and so we can put it up on the wall. That's who keeps me going. That's who keeps me pushing. I need you to find your intrinsic motivator, and while you may be the first, you're not going to be the last. And I'm not in it to be the first. I'm in it to be the best. By the time I'm done, I want a legacy for my family, for my company, but more importantly, I love to see my mom say, Mijo, I'm so proud of you. Mijo, keep doing what you love. And for those of you that don't speak Spanish, mijo means sexy, young Mexican man. If you do speak Spanish, it just means son. But, I'm just making sure we're on the same page here, okay? I'm asking you to push as hard as some of your parents did. I'm asking you to represent more so for your family, your last name, and then everybody else. Because we have some leaders up here trying to lead the way and tell us what to do, but they haven't even cleaned up their own mess in their own houses. And that's not the type of person I want to follow. I want to follow the type of person that's cleaned their mess up and might teach me how to clean my own mess up. My name is Ernesto Mejia Macias, and in Spanish we say, soy tu humilde servidor. I am your humble servant. If there's anything that I can do along the way, along your journeys, all you need to do is ask. And if a kid like me made it out, a kid like me can follow his dreams. Somebody like y'all, I'll be working for y'all down the road. And I'm not about you not taking my place. I want you to take my place and then move up and do something bigger and better. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Josh. And I hope that you took something of benefit away from this time that we shared together.
Can y'all give Ernesto a big round of applause? Can y'all light it up in the chat box? My goodness, man. My man Ernesto came in here and just dropped the mic. Man, Ernesto, and y'all don't understand, I and Ernesto are good friends. This is the first time I've ever heard a live presentation. And Ernesto, I'm just going to let you know in front of everyone, you dropped the mic. I would encourage everyone right now. I don't know about y'all. Y'all bringing speakers to your campuses. I would book them. Like I don't even got to tell you nothing. You know what you need to do. I would bring him to your campus. I mean, the way he intertwined his experience, his culture, the stories, the engagement, the activities. I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all know it was off the charts, man. Can we give my man Ernesto a round of applause? And Ernesto, what was so amazing is you stayed authentic to who you are. And again, we are all about, I use the word cultural diversity. We're all about representing your culture. We're all about you being true to who you are. And I just love how you intertwine that and use that experience and let us know, man, what our parents have done for us. We can't give up. I mean, the sacrifices our parents have made, we cannot give up.